This is a video about what happens with families behind closed doors, where secrets are kept, lies are told, and no one is safe. I want you to feel like you're peering through a keyhole into a world that you should not be seeing. A world of deceit, of hidden things, and of danger. This is a story about a family, a seemingly ordinary family, but I'll give you a hint. Everything you see here is not what it appears to be. Nothing is real, nothing is safe, and no one is who they seem to be. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Some secrets are kept behind closed doors, but today they will be revealed. Subscribe now. Click the notification bell so you can be first to know when a new story drops if you dare. Felicia Studios.
The Gardner family is about to have its annual reunion in the lakeside summer home. They've been renting every June since the kids were small. This year, though, there's a big twist. The parents, George and Helen, have decided to sell the house and say goodbye to their beloved vacation tradition after more than 2 decades. They've also invited their only child, Anna, back home for the first time in 3 years. She hasn't been around much since graduating from university, and the reason why is that she still holds a deep grudge against her parents for not supporting her emotionally when she was younger. Her sister, Megan, died in a car accident, and ever since then, Anna has struggled with self-harm and anxiety issues. Their parents never really knew how to handle it and just pushed her away. Now, the whole family is gathered around the dinner table. They're trying to enjoy their last meal together in this house, but the atmosphere is quite stiff. Anna is cold towards her parents and doesn't want to talk to them, and Megan's ghost is looming over the table like a shroud. Helen knows she messed up with her daughter, but she can't do anything about it now. George, however, seems totally oblivious. He's an outgoing guy who loves making jokes, but his humor falls flat and only makes Anna roll her eyes. Suddenly, a power cut plunges the house into darkness. It's just for a few seconds, but it's enough for George to pull out a flashlight and make a shocking announcement. He tells the family he has something very important to show them. He leads them to a part of the basement no one has ever seen before, a secret room full of boxers. He opens one of them and pulls out an old photo album. As the family huddles together looking at the photos, George reveals a massive bombshell. The man in the pictures isn't her real father. They all gasp in shock, and he confirms it by saying, those were the happiest years of his life. Those were the years before he married Anna's mother. Before what? Before what happened to Megan. Before he had to bury his daughter. He says he kept the truth from everyone because he didn't want to hurt anyone. But now that Anna is older, he feels she deserves to know the truth about herself. She asks him why, though. Why would her biological dad be in this photo album? Was he here visiting them? No. George shakes his head. He took the photos himself while visiting him in prison. He was behind bars for a terrible crime, a crime he swears he didn't commit. He was sent there for embezzling millions from the company he worked for. But George was sure he was framed by someone he trusted, someone who wanted to take everything from him. But he wasn't allowed to tell anyone about the real reason why he went to jail, not even his wife or his daughters. He couldn't risk anyone finding out the truth and using it against him. Then he turned to Anna and told her the most shocking thing of all. He's innocent. He didn't steal any money. And the person who did was none other than her uncle, her mom's brother, Mark. He was the one who set George up and made him take the fall for him so he could cash in on the insurance money. The police suspected it, but they didn't have any proof. They just let George rot in jail. He served 16 years of a 20-year sentence before being released early. He told the family he could unreveal any of this until he was free, because he didn't want to jeopardize his case. But now that he's out, he wants them to know the truth. Anna, however, isn't convinced. She knows her dad can be impulsive and reckless, but she also knows he's never been convicted of a crime. So maybe he really is innocent. Maybe Mark really did frame him. She starts asking more questions, but her dad just tells her she doesn't understand certain things yet. She'll learn more about her real father later. For now, she just needs to know that he's the one who loved her mother, the one who gave her life. The next morning, George is busy packing up the car when Anna comes down the stairs. She's still thinking about her dad's big reveal. Was he really telling the truth, or was he hiding something else? She wants to get to the bottom of this mystery, but she also doesn't want to hurt her dad, so she decides to pay a visit to her Uncle Mark. He lives in a big house on the other side of town, and she remembers visiting him with her dad and Megan when she was little. Mark always seemed like a nice guy. He always played with her and Megan and bought them ice cream. So why would he frame her dad and destroy their family? Anna knocks on the door and her aunt answers. She looks surprised to see Anna. She's always been a bit distant with her, just like the rest of the family. But she welcomes her in and offers her a drink. Anna thanks her and says she'd like to ask her some questions about her dad. Her aunt tells her she doesn't know anything about George, but she can assure her he's a good guy. He just made some bad decisions in life, but that's in the past. Anna thinks about this for a moment. Is Mark really a good guy? Or is he hiding something? Meanwhile, George is having his own conversation with Helen. He tells her he revealed too much to Anna, and he's worried she might go to Mark for answers. He begs her to talk to Anna and make sure she doesn't find out the truth about him. But Helen tells him there are some things in life that can't be hidden. Once Anna learns the truth about her father, she'll find a way to uncover it. George tries to argue, but Helen stands her ground. She tells him he needs to face the consequences of his actions. He's the one who decided to keep the truth from everyone. Now he has to live with the consequences. They argue back and forth, but in the end, they both know Helen is right. Just then, Anna comes back inside. She didn't get much information from her aunt, but she did notice something strange. She saw a picture of her dad hanging on the wall, a picture taken during happier times. She asks her aunt if she took the picture, but she says no. Mark did. He used to hang the photo in his office. Then he took it down when things went south between him and George. Things went south, huh? What exactly happened? Her aunt tells her she doesn't know anything about that either. She and Mark were just starting their lives when George went to jail, and she didn't want to get involved in whatever family drama was going on. She just wanted to move forward and live a quiet life with her husband. Anna thinks about this for a moment. Why would Mark take down the photo? Was he ashamed of his brother-in-law? Did he hate him? Did he want him locked up forever? As the day goes on, Anna spends more time with her aunt. They start talking about Megan, and George tells her how much her sister loved Mark. She was always so happy when she visited him and brought him presents. He said that showed him just how good of a guy Mark really was. But then Anna remembers something. During that fateful visit to Mark's house, George got into a huge fight with Mark. It must have been shortly before George went to prison. But why? What could they have been arguing about? Just then, Anna's phone vibrates. It's a message from her dad. He wants to know where she is and why she left without saying goodbye. She tells him she's coming back, but he replies that she should just stay where she is. He doesn't want her to come back. Confused, Anna calls him. He doesn't answer. She tries again, but still nothing. Where is he? Why doesn't he want to see her? And as the minutes go by, Anna's confusion turns into fear. Could her dad have left her and her mom to start a new life without them? Act 2, George is sitting alone in the car. When Anna called, he almost dropped his phone. He didn't mean to ignore her. He was just scared she'd find out the truth. He knows he can't keep it hidden forever, but he hoped, maybe, just maybe, she'd leave town without asking too many questions. He turns the engine on and drives to the lake. He needs to clear his head. All this talk about his past is bringing back a lot of bad memories. He takes a deep breath and looks at the water. When the police found out he had taken the fall from Mark, they offered him a deal. If he testified against his brother-in-law, they'd drop all charges against him, but he refused. He didn't want to get Mark in trouble. Sure, he was angry at him, but he also understood why he did what he did. Mark was a family man. He had 2 kids and a mortgage to pay, and he needed money, badly. That's why he stole from the company. And when the boss started asking questions, he tried to cover it up, and that's when George stepped in. He could have easily walked away and let Mark rot in jail, but he knew Mark's wife, Susan, would never forgive him for that, so he took the blame. He told the police he did it, and when Mark begged him to reconsider, he just shook his head. Now he's paying the price. He's out of jail, but his reputation is ruined. No one will ever hire him again, and he's too old to start a new career. He's just a has-been, and now Anna is onto him. She's asking too many questions, and he's afraid she's going to figure out the truth. He'd rather move away and start fresh than watch her get hurt. He calls Helen, but it goes straight to voicemail. He leaves a message saying he's leaving. He's sorry, but he can't do this anymore. He can't keep living like this. Then he hangs up. George is torn. He doesn't want to hurt his daughter, but he also doesn't want to live a lie anymore. Back at the house, Anna's talking to her mom. She tells her she needs the truth. She needs to know what really happened to her dad. Why is he in jail? And why won't he talk to her? Helen hesitates, but then she gives in. She tells her the truth about Mark. She tells her how Mark framed her husband and stole all their money. She tells her how she had to choose between her 2 daughters. She chose Megan. She told George that Megan was the favorite. That's why he snapped. That's why he went to Mark's house and started screaming at him. That's why Mark took down the photo. He was ashamed of his brother-in-law. But Anna still has questions. Why did Mark do it? Why did he steal from his own brother? And why did George take the fall for him? Helen doesn't know the answers to those questions, but she's sure of one thing. Mark is dangerous. He'll do anything to protect himself. That's why he put the blame on George. But it backfired. The police didn't believe him. They thought George was guilty, but they also thought Mark was behind it all. That's why he's in jail now. Anna is shocked. She never knew her dad was innocent. She never knew Mark was capable of such a thing. How could he do this to his own family? But as she thinks about it more, she realizes that Mark probably didn't do it for selfish reasons. He probably did it for his family, too. Maybe he had no choice. Maybe he had to take care of his family somehow. She thinks about her dad, too. How far would he go to protect his family? Would he sacrifice his own freedom to save Mark? It's hard to say, but one thing's for sure. Their reunion was never going to be the same again. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out of any of Felicia Studios' videos. It really means a lot and helps me make better videos for you guys. Share your own stories and theories in the comments below. Don't gatekeep. Share it with fellow enthusiasts who love these kind of stories. I think they'll enjoy it too. This has been Felicia Studios, coming with a new captivating story soon.